What's going on, good people? It's Mr. Meyer with the fire, here to take the collective vibe higher. And this, I pray, is the answer to someone else's prayer for a money miracle. The simple path to wealth is 3 steps. Number 1, spend less money than you make. Number 2, pay yourself first. And number 3, invest. It's literally that simple. Anyone can do it. It just takes the wantingness to do it. I can't is the most poor thought a human can think. So the first thing that you're going to do in this work is monitor your thoughts and notice when you start to think, I can't. You can do anything you put your mind to. The moment you think, I can't, you're going to want to verbalize and affirm, I can do anything I put my mind to. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is step number 0. Understand and know you can do anything you put your mind to. This works for people with 10 kids and boatloads of responsibilities and people fresh out of high school. It works for everybody. You just got to be willing, okay? So it's a very simple ritual and it will change your life. And it's really cool because this ritual is meant to be repeated every single week. So you will see changes come incrementally and start to gather speed and frequency, and your life is going to be transformed completely. So spend less money than you make, pay yourself first, and invest. The basic framework of this ritual is saving money every Friday. I say Friday for a multitude of reasons. Number 1, most people get paid on Friday. Number 2, Friday is ruled by the planet Venus. Venus is the goddess of love, the goddess of beauty, the goddess of money. And that's the Greco-Roman version. Depending on where you go, Venus may have different names like Ishtar, Inanna, Lilith, Lakshmi. So Lakshmi is very excited to work with everybody who found their way to this video. Some of you may already know Lakshmi and be best friends with the goddess. But for those that are not familiar or maybe new to working with spirit, I'm reassuring you now, you are invited to work with Lakshmi. Like I said, this might be new for some. It might be kind of intimidating. Some may be concerned about cultural appropriation. The number 1 offering to give to any spirit is an open heart. So I promise you, if you come to this work with an open heart, the goddess Lakshmi will help you on your path to wealth. The framework for the ritual is very simple. Essentially, what you're going to do is find a sacred space. This could be your couch. This could be anywhere in your home where you can take some time to be undisturbed. You can even do this in the car. You could do this in the park. You could do this anywhere. But I recommend the comfort of your own home. Friday. And carve out 5 to 30 minutes where you will be undisturbed. For some, you might even make this last a little bit longer. But it really is not going to take that long, my friends. All you need to do is decide a predetermined amount of money that you're going to save every single week. And I really recommend that whoever takes on this work, please start with no less than $1. Even if you have to borrow $1, this is going to be a great idea, okay? And the reason I say $1 is because you can easily split this up into 100 pennies. The real trick for this is that you're going to chant a mantra for Lakshmi every time you count out either a coin or a dollar bill. Or a bill. It doesn't have to be $1 basically, but because this will work for any culture's money and currency. But mantra is a form of respect. Mantra is an offering. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. So let me introduce you to the goddess. Like I said, some see this as the Hindu version of Venus. Lakshmi has a rich history and mythology, and I do recommend for any spirit that you work with, that you begin with preparatory immersion. Consider watching some videos about Lakshmi before you begin this working on Friday. to get to understand her energy and see yourself as the goddess as well. Imagine you had all the money in the world. What would you do with it? Would you be bored having it all for yourself? How much joy could you find giving to others? So what I'm most excited for is for somebody to transform their financial life, to go from poverty and destitution to a life of meaningness and contribution. I know what it's like to be poor and broke and asked out, frankly. I know how damaging it can be to the soul and the psyche. I know the feeling of unworthiness that comes from lack. And I wish that on nobody. I think a lot of us have this thought, I can't be the only one that thinks that this world is abundant. And if we all took care of it, and if we all knew how to share and give and take and receive equally, we would all be okay. So this intention of this ritual is to cultivate abundance, not just for yourself, but for other people as well, okay? But do keep in mind, you can't pour from an empty cup, and it has to start with you. We have to work on giving to ourselves, and that's basically what this is about. So again, there's a framework, and I'm going to give a framework within the framework, then I'm going to explain it. I don't want to make this too long. I want to keep it short, simple, sweet, and to the point. First thing is you're going to find a space that's comfortable. You're going to call on the goddess Lakshmi. You do not need a statue. You don't need a picture. It could help. It does help. But take some time, take the money that you've decided that you're going to save. You will know intuitively what the right amount of money is. On your first time, call to the goddess. Introduce yourself. Come with the open heart. State your name and state your intention. I, Mark David Meyer, wish to work with you, Lakshmi. I wish to be prosperous. I wish to be financially free. Please guide me on the path of financial independence. Thank you. Blessed be. It could be that simple. You could literally use that with your name or speak from the heart. It's not that big of a deal. Just believe in yourself and believe in the power of this universe. Then you're going to take those coins or those dollar bills and you're going to chant the mantra. Most mantras, and I'm going to list a couple below, there's plenty more where that came from, really are an offering of energy, and they roughly translate to, oh, Lakshmi, I respect you. Give me prosperity, please, I respect you. So understand that when the mantra is leaving your mouth, it is interacting with the spirit. And this energy is going to be exchanging through both of you, okay? Essentially, you'll carve out 5 to 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more, depending on how long you want to sit with the goddess, to count out the money that you've decided to save, chant mantra for every coin or bill, thank the goddess, go on about your merry day, go on your merry way, and be rich, okay? Basically, this energy will change you. Lakshmi will inspire you. Lakshmi will open your heart with the energy of Venus, the energy of love. And you'll notice that you'll live more prosperous. The money that you make, the money that you spend, it will create more meaning and more joy in your life as this energy changes you, okay? And wealth attracts wealth. So the more money you have, the more money you attract. It's very cool. Here's the framework within the framework. There's about 6 parts to this, okay? Number 1 is high interest debt removal. I'll explain these in a second. But number 2 is an emergency fund. Number 3 is prepaying your bills for about 3 months. Number 4 is creating a retirement account, eventually maximizing your weekly/monthly contribution to it. Number 5 is where things get really fun. It's a 50-50 split with your weekly savings. 50% goes to charity of your choice or any meaningful cause. And then the other 50% goes towards buying assets. And number 6 is enjoy your life. So let's break it down for just a second. I think most of you guys have plenty of knowledge to get started, but I want to add a little bit more detail just to make sure that this is short, sweet, to the point, but also you get the gist of it. And I have a couple more resources to share in this video too. So basically, number 1, high interest debt removal. It's hard to fill your bucket when there's holes in it, okay? Use a little bit of discretion as you go about your accounting. It's worth noting that this is a ritual. This is money magic. You know, as you're working with spirit, auspicious things can happen in your life. You can find yourself more drawn to opportunity. Maybe money might just start to find you in auspicious ways because you're opening yourself to the energy of it, okay? But at the end of the day, we're not using hope as a strategy, my friends. So that's why I'm emphatic about financial literacy. I mentioned earlier, this money is going to be invested eventually. So deeper in the framework, towards maybe step 4 or 5-ish, as we are investing more and more money, please invest in your education. This is your most important asset you will ever possess, your intellectual property. It's priceless, okay? But number 1, the high interest debt removal. Debt can kill wealth. As a digression, some of us know debt can be a vehicle to create wealth, but this is a more advanced technique. And we're not really gonna focus on that in this video. This is a whole nother video. Let's crawl before we ball. Basically, high interest debt is the killer of wealth, especially consumer debt. This is money that we're gonna pay every month just for owing money. In what sense does that make, okay? So this is also a side step, but it's very wrapped up in the whole framework, is you're going to want to do some basic accounting, okay? And there is a book I recommend called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. It's worth its weight in gold, but I'll give you the basics of it right now, the highlights, just so you don't miss them, is that accounting is 4 parts. They didn't teach me this in school. Thank you, Robert. Income, expense, asset, and liability. I think most get it, but just do understand income is money that comes in, whether it's your paycheck or a side hustle or a sale from a business or a service. Income is money that comes in. Expense is the opposite, money that goes out. Your rent, your food, your phone bill, etc., your kids, expensive, that's money you pay. An asset is something that you own that generates income or value or worth, okay? And an liability is the exact opposite. Something that you own that takes money away from you, okay? And eventually we're going to track our net worth. This is part of the process. You will do well to track it whenever. The sooner the better. You can start this on step 0, but please, for the love of all that is good in this world, please do not continue from step 4 to 5 without tracking your net worth. Net worth is basically the sum total of all of your assets minus the liabilities, okay? And it's hard to improve what we're not measuring. So one of the best things you can do for your financial future is to go on Google Sheets, totally free, and start tracking your net worth. And if you go on Google and look up net worth tracker, you can copy it into Google Sheets, or you can customize it. So basically on the 2 axes, the bottom will be time, bottom or top is time. And on the vertical axis, this will be the different items in your net worth, like the money you might own in real estate or personal possessions, money that's sitting in bank accounts, stock investments, and then you could even have your liabilities, like any debts that are outstanding, things that you have to pay for, etc., so on and so forth. And then at the very bottom, you'll total it up. All the assets minus the liabilities is your net worth, okay? Every 3 months, you're gonna wanna track your net worth. Personally, I track my net worth on the fixed new moons. As an astrologer, this is really easy for me because I'm always watching the planets and the cycles, and I don't have to think about when am I gonna do it, because I'm always doing it on the new moon in Taurus, the new moon in Leo, the new moon in Scorpio, and the new moon in Aquarius. And those dates may shift every year, but I know when I'm tracking them. And frankly, sometimes I track it more frequently. But at the very minimum, you're going to need to track your net worth every 3 months, because what you focus on, you put attention towards, and you'll start to see it improve and grow, okay? Track your net worth every 3 months. So number 1, high interest debt removal. Pay off those high interest credit cards. Pay off any personal loans. Pay back friends and family, anybody you may owe. Get that weight off of your soul. That's number 1. Number 2, an emergency fund. I don't want to scare anybody. Not having an emergency fund is somewhat of an emergency, okay? But I will say plenty of people don't have one, never even knew about it. Were never taught about this. I know I wasn't. And the sad truth is many people, many families are just one paycheck away from homelessness. And that can't be good. Money is a tool, so we're going to use it to build security. Once the bucket has no leaks in it, once we've done step one, high interest debt removal, the money we're saving on Fridays is going to go towards building an emergency fund. And I'm going to be clear, this fund is only for emergencies. Theoretically, you never touch this, but it's there in case you need it. Everybody has a different lifestyle, so I don't know what type of emergencies may come up for you, but make it at least $500. I would recommend a few thousand. As your life expands, it may become even bigger. For some, an emergency may be $500. For some, an emergency might be $100,000. It depends on what your life is. It's going to be very personal. So while I give you folks the framework, just customize this to your needs and trust your intuition and set a standard for an amount of money that you're going to save every single week. And over time, as you work with this goddess and work with yourself and your life changes, you intuitively will know when to increase the money. Being very conservative, I estimate everybody watching this video could start with $1. Meaning on Friday, we chant 100 mantras. It's likely you could do $2 the next time. Or since that's a lot of chanting, maybe you just turn your pennies into nickels. So rather than saving $1, now you're saving $5. It's taking you about the same amount of time. And my hope for this ritual is that you stay consistent, that you're not worried about going up on the exponential curve. It will happen eventually, but just slowly raise your standard, because that's really the only way to grow in life, is to raise your standard. Don't think that the world is going to come crashing down if you can't double the money every single week, is my point. But just try not to go backwards, okay? And be grateful that you're showing up anyway, because money comes and goes. It ebbs and flows. And sometimes things happen, like we just talked about emergencies. So maybe there's times where, your regular pre-allotted amount, it might not be easy to get it that week. But the fact that you show up, even if you have nothing to give, I'm telling you guys, this ritual is worth your time. Even if you can't come up with $1, even if you can't come up with a penny, it's still worth your time to come to the altar, to come to Lakshmi and chant these mantras. I recommend about 100. No less than 30. Make it worth your time. One fun thing about magic is what you put in is really what you're going to get out. So no less than 30. And after you've built your emergency fund, whatever that happens to be, we're going to go into step 3, and that is prepaying your bills. And again, you will need to do a little bit of accounting. You'll need to spend a little bit of time. It doesn't take much time at all, friends. It's going to be you getting on your bank account app, your bank statements, looking at your credit cards, writing down how much you spend every month. So you know your needs versus your wants. How much is your rent? How much is your phone bill? How much do you spend on groceries? How much do you spend on entertainment and miscellaneous things? Write it all down, okay? Step 3, you put aside 3 months of expenses, which is really cool. You're moving yourself away from the poverty line. You can know, and some would say, losing a job or being laid off is somewhat of an emergency, and it definitely can be. But you have the peace of mind and the security in your soul to know you don't have to work for 3 months. If anything came down, you'd be okay. I don't encourage you to stop working, but this is the idea of your money saving you because you're saving it, right? Number 4, create a retirement account. Some people don't ever do this. For some people, their children are their retirement account. And I don't think that's fair personally, but I digress. Once you've gotten your high interest debt removed, you've built your emergency fund and you've prepaid bills for about 3 months, now the money that you're saving every week is going to go towards retirement. And again, this may seem daunting for some people, and that's really got a good reason for it. Money is linked to our survival nowadays. It wasn't always that way. But the fight or flight, freeze or fawn response, this can be something that people experience the moment money is brought up in a conversation, okay? And I also know that the financial industry is made to seem overly complicated, so people get overwhelmed, throw up their hands and walk the other direction, and other people profit off of them because they just think they're not smart enough to understand money. You can do anything you put your mind to, yet again. So for most, I should say, getting a financial advisor would be very wise. There's companies like H&R Block, Edward Jones, that you can go to and have somebody invest your money. And usually it'll be diversified for you. What I really want you to do, and just cutting out the work for the framework, is get an IRA, a Roth IRA, ROTH IRA, individual retirement account. And the cool thing about an IRA is it's tax deferred. And when you pull from it, you're not going to get taxed later on. But the idea is we're going to save this for later on. We're going to put the money in it. And there's even a maximum contribution. I can't remember the top of my head what it is, but essentially there's a predetermined amount that you can put in every single year. Technically, you can have multiple IRAs, but the idea is you want at least one of these that you max out. That's the next level of the framework. Okay? So this money is going to be invested for you, for your retirement specifically, okay? So when you decide you're done working, you can have that money. Do this. Start as soon as possible. Let that compound growth help you, okay? Number 5, 50-50 split for charity and assets. This is where things get really fun because your money is going to start making a meaningful contribution in the world that you can see, that you can give to meaningful causes. This could be like a charity. This could be like your friends, family members that may need financial assistance. This could be like a church. This could be anything that means something to your heart. You're going to see that your energy is now affecting the world, and this is where life gets really awesome. But balance is so key, guys. There's a lot of generous people in this world, and what you're going to want to do is pay yourself too. There's another book I need to share with you guys. This is something I wrote down in the framework, and I really want you to get this. More than Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I really would require this. If this was homework, a ritual, T. Harv Eker's book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Before you go to step 4, get this book. You could do it before you really are done with step 1. Get this book. It is worth its weight in gold. It will change your life. There's 17 wealth files in this book, ways that rich people think. And I want you to install these into your mind and start to implement rich behaviors and ways of thinking, change your life, and start to study the wealth principles. Gauge your receptivity to them. See if you struggle with some and see which ones that you're good at. Be great at all of them, okay? 50-50 charity. When you invest in assets, I strongly recommend you diversify. This is really the last point, guys, is that you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket in order to create more security. A table is really nothing with one leg. So theoretically, hypothetically, it would be amazing if you could do no more than 20% of one asset class taking up your net worth, but even 25% for each is better than 100% into one thing. Even 50-50 is better than 100%, but I recommend 20%, which basically means you're going to find 5 things to invest in. And this is where things get even more fun. The best investment you can absolutely make is your education, guys. So as you're doing this weekly saving ritual, after you've gotten steps 1 through 4 complete, there's no high interest debt eating you alive. You've got your emergency fund, you've got bills prepaid, and you've got your individual retirement account funded and maxed out on a monthly basis. Then you're going to start investing a lot of money into growth, into building your net worth, into becoming more prosperous. And it's cool because at this point, you're already giving to the world. So the more prosperous you become, the more you can give to the world. I hope this is making sense because this is amazing. This has changed my life, this simple framework, and I'm not going to stop doing it. Let's say, for instance, you might spend 20% of your savings on education. This can be one of the fastest ways for you to make more money. If you were to pay a financial investor or get a mentor, or someone could teach you about the stock market or how to run business, or you got a coach, 20% on in investing in education. You could spend 20% on stocks that you buy and hold, or even trade. You could spend 20% on crypto for the same reason. You could spend 20% on gold to buy and hold. Gold appreciates really well. Precious stones. Do your due diligence, do your research. Kind of goes back to hand in hand with education. A business could be something that you invest in, a side hustle. Frankly, businesses can have a higher return than almost all of these, maybe besides the education. But pick some things that you want to invest in, diversify, and just track your net worth every 3 months. Watch your net worth grow. If you follow this framework, I'm almost certain you're going to be a millionaire and then a multimillionaire. It really just comes down to your wealth blueprint, your unconscious psychological comfort level with abundance. So that's why you're going to need that book. Track your net worth, give thanks to the goddess Lakshmi, be grateful for your life, make sure the money that you spend inspires joy, and smile more often. And it's worth mentioning Ganesh can also help you with the root chakra. Lakshmi can help you great with the heart. Ganesh can help you remove obstacles from your life. So can also be a good one to talk to. And if you're watching this video, you're invited. Just come with an open heart. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this framework. Let me know if you're going to do this. Save this video. Share this video with somebody who's going to benefit from it, and come back and let me know how the work is changing your life. It's Mr. Meyer with the Fire, here to take the collective vibe higher. Our sole intention, Fire family, is to reconcile all paradox with love and truth, and I love you. Good luck.